What's up, Yankee fans? I'm Ryan Garcia from Fireside Yankees. Today, we're going to be live to discuss a variety of Yankee topics. The New York Yankees had their hot stove on yes, and Jack Curry had some comments about the Yankees having conversation with Scott Boras about Cody Bellinger the day prior. The trade or the free agent route for starting pitching will break down both paths there. Interest in a Luke Weaver reunion that was reported by Chris Kirschner of The Athletic. All these rumors, all these conversations, and of course, your questions, the viewers, right here on Fireside Yankees. Before we get into everything, make sure you guys like, subscribe, and turn on that notification bell to get updates and stay up to date on what's going on here in Yankee land. We really appreciate your guys' conversation, what's going on here on the Yankee space, and again, just appreciate you guys spending your evenings here on Fireside Yankees. Let's start talking about the Luke Weaver reunion talk, because Luke Weaver, currently a free agent, a player who the Yankees had over the last two seasons, who they squeezed a lot of value of over the course of those 2 years. They paid him, I believe, $5.5 million, if I'm not mistaken, over the course of that contract. And despite that minimal investment, they got quite a bit in return. They got 1.5 wins above replacement, 148 and two-third innings pitched, a 3.21 ERA. In terms of win probability added, they got 4.95 win probability added, meaning that Luke Weaver ended up providing about 5 additional wins over the course of 2 years. The Yankees paid $1 million for each of those wins. And in terms of wins above replacement, the Yankees paid well below market value for 1.4 wins above replacement. It says 1.4, but I mean, 0.5, 1.0, whatever. Point is, this was a pretty good year for a pretty good stretch, a pretty good contract for Luke Weaver. This past year, obviously not the year that you hope for if you're Luke Weaver, because the year prior, he was one of the most impactful relievers in the game. He had a really strong ERA at 2.89, a really good expected ERA at 3.30, good strikeout rates, 31.1%, 7.9% walk rate. But this past year saw a decrease in his efficiency and his strikeout rate. Didn't see the walk rate go up, but declining strikeout rate, never a good thing. Increase in home run rate, that was a result of a decrease in ground ball rate and an increase in fly ball rate. Not really an increase in damage contact allowed. He just gave up more fly balls. And when you give up more fly balls and have the same home run per fly ball rate, your home run per 9 is going to increase. He obviously also dealt with that injury, didn't provide as much volume on an per appearance basis. And me personally, I think it's not a bad idea to bring him back. I think FanGraphs projects him to produce a $7 million AAV, a $14 million contract over the course of 2 years. I don't think that's expensive, nor do I think that's unreasonable for Luke Weaver, but I want to get your guys' opinions here. Let's get started with this super chat from Jonathan, who says, "Go Yanks." First off, thank you for the super chat. Secondly, re-sign Weaver. Good arm, just was hurt. Only $7 million, though, not anymore. And I would agree. I think that a $7 million AAV, annual average salary, is fair value. I don't think I would go above that either. Now, a couple of things I do want to note here is I really value the metric strikeout to walk rate. I will always value that metric. It's just a stat that I think is really, really good. And I think is very predictive compared to other stats that are not very predictive and do not have the strong ability to project future results the way that strikeout to walk rate does. ERA does not predict on itself very well, things of that nature. Let's look at this graphic here, and I want to get rid of the media ask, and I'll put down the super chat for a second so you guys can see this. If I can find a way to do these things, I apologize, everybody. If you look at the strikeout to walk rates for these guys who are all projected to get similar contracts to Luke Weaver, he is the top guy in strikeout to walk rate. Pete Fairbanks is projected to get a bigger deal he's projected to get this deal, but a lot of media outlets have reported that he will get a deal larger than that. Sir Anthony Dominguez, Brad Keller, it's a safe assumption to say he'll get over $12 million for 2 years, given the amazing year he had. But for the Yankees, I really do think that Luke Weaver is a good value signing, a guy who's familiar here, a really good swing and miss weapon, a guy whose fastball velocity, his ride, his changeup, nothing has really changed much in terms of his profile. He's remained a really excellent player. So with that being said, let's get some other questions here and some other topics. I think, again, with Luke Weaver, I think a lot of people have kind of just put him in this bucket of he sucks, he stinks, he's not good. And it's really weird to kind of see people go from a year ago, hey, he's terrible, or no, excuse me, he's amazing, he's the closer, he's this, that, and the third. And then a year later, you've got to convince people that bringing him back on a cheap deal would be bad for the Yankees. I understand there's an opposition to running it back, but I just, me personally, I don't think you want to avoid signing good players because they were on your team last year. You sign good players and you let go of the ones who didn't help you or open on the market, or you trade the ones who didn't help you this past year or don't project to help you in the future. Again, if it's a cheap deal, I agree. If he's talking about $10 million AAV over 2-3 years, no, I'm not in that. I'm not in that market. But if it's a $7 million contract for 1 year or $14 million for 2 years, I personally don't believe this is a player who is a who's a like I don't think it's a bad thing. I think you're going to get a player who's going to return on investment. But that's neither here nor there. We'll keep it rolling here with some other topics, and I kind of want to use this comment here to base this off of. So Freddy Peralta. Now, there's not an additional rumor suggesting that the Yankees are in on Freddy Peralta beyond what we saw from The Athletic, which the Athletic linked the Yankees to Freddy Peralta and said, hey, the Yankees are among teams, and it's a vast group of teams who are interested in Peralta's services. Now, for the Brewers, it is not a guarantee that the Yankees trade him or that the Brewers trade him. We cannot promise the Brewers trade him, but I did write an article earlier this evening regarding Freddy Peralta and what I would do in a mock trade. Now, in this article, I kind of go over what the Yankees would want or what the Brewers could want from the Yankees, what their needs are, talk about first base, second base, shortstop, talk about the rotation. Obviously, the Yankees can't provide a shortstop of significant value, but the Yankees can provide some starting pitching, and I don't think the Yankees are trading Ben Rice for 1 year Freddy Peralta for what that's worth. Now, with things kind of, the things going on here with what's going on, I don't think this is I don't think this is perfect, right? I don't think this is perfect, but the mock trade I had here was Luis Heel, Brendan Jones, and Ben Hess. Now, Luis Heel, 3 years of a starting pitcher at a low cost. It's someone who I think could intrigue the Brewers depending on their evaluation of him. And I'm going to get rid of this ad. Sorry, just don't want, it's a good ad. It's for USA. I know it's like a good organization. Just don't want videos playing. I don't want to get copyrighted. Ben Hess is a top 5-ish prospect inside the Yankee organization. He's a first-round pick from last year, performed really well at the AA level. Someone who I think could be a big leaguer by year's end. Then for Brendan Jones, he's reminds me a lot of Caleb Durbin, and the Brewers loved Caleb Durbin to the point where he was the second piece in the deal for Devin Williams. Now, Devin Williams better than not better than Freddy Peralta, less valuable than Freddy Peralta, better relative to his position, but that's a different conversation. Peralta is a starting pitcher. He's more valuable, so you can't just offer 1 year of Nestor Cortez and a Caleb Durbin-esque prospect, but you can offer a Caleb Durbin-esque prospect and then 3 years of a controllable starting pitcher and then a first-round pick, like 45 FV prospect on top of this. I think this is decent value for Freddy Peralta. Again, comes down to the Brewers' evaluations of the player, but Freddy Peralta is awesome. Freddy Peralta is one of the better starting pitchers in baseball. Every single year, he's like roughly the 20th best starter in baseball, and that's just kind of like his deal. He's always in that mix. Let's kind of look at 2000. Let's go way back. Let's look at 2023. Where are we, Freddy? Freddy Peralta, 28th best starting pitcher in terms of wins above replacement, tied inside the top 25 here in terms of ERA or qualified ERA. I know this was a high ERA year. 28th FIP among qualified pitchers, 24th xFIP among qualified pitchers, 8th strikeout rate or strikeout to walk rate. Sorry, just kind of going through all the motions here. Freddy Peralta, 5th. Then you look at the 2024 season, ERA or strikeout to walk rate. Let's stay with this stat first. 18th ERA among qualified starting pitchers, 3.68. I think he's 30th. Yeah, there we go. FIP, bad FIP year, 4.16, outside of the top 30. Expected FIP, where is Peralta? Is he outside the top 30 here? I think he was this past that year. Yep, 33rd. So, ERA was pretty good. Strikeout to walk rate was pretty good, but other underlying metrics, not as good. Then in 2025, he had probably his best year of recent memory. ERA, 2.70, 7th. Strikeout to walk rate, 19.1%, 15th. xFIP, Where is he? Right here. He's 22nd skill interactive ERA. He was 16th. Again, this was a top 20-ish starting pitcher every single year. Top 20 to 25. That is a player who I think is of value to any team. And I think me personally, I would be willing to put him up there as the number one target for the Yankees in terms of immediate impact for 2026. Now, I don't know if I don't know if it's my preferred avenue. Like, I would always say I would prefer the Yankees to just spend money because that is the asset that they should always have the most of. But that's not, money is still a finite asset. Even if you are a team like the Dodgers or the Mets, money is still a finite asset. And you only have so much of it. It is not that I think it's not to defend if the Yankees are like, hey, I don't want to pay Imai and then I don't get a starting pitcher like that. That's not what I'm saying. But I am saying that I would prefer the Yankees tap into their financial resources, even though I understand, again, that's a finite asset. Now, this is a really good question. He gets a lot of outs on fly balls. Would that worry you in Yankee Stadium? So at first, yes, that was an initial concern I had. Like, hey, this is an extreme fly ball pitcher who gives up his fair share of barrels. Is this a guy who's going to be able to work in the Bronx where, especially in right field, this is a player who, could run into some issues. But number one, Milwaukee is surprisingly pretty homer friendly. It's not as homer friendly as Yankee Stadium, but it is pretty homer friendly. At least it's hitter friendly. And so I kind of figured out, and we're going to just look at the StatCast Park factors here for a quick second. If I can get it to load up. There we go. In terms of like run scoring, never mind. I guess it was really bad I thought it was a good run. I remember it being a good ballpark for scoring runs. Maybe it was like recent or like 2024. Man, I remember this being a place where you could hit. I guess this past year there were similar ballparks, but I remember that being a place you can hit. I don't know if I got a bad bite or a bad read. Maybe I just remembered that wrong. Good thing we checked together, guys, because I was about to say something incredibly ill-informed then. Yeah, I was like, hey, this guy's, you're going from a bad, like a not great place to pitch to like a pretty good one. No, I'm wrong. I apologize. But the thing that gave me some pause here or some encouragement was this. Expected home runs. 1 year, not great. Like one extra home run, but the year prior, 5 fewer. The year before that, 2 fewer. Overall, seems to be a net neutral. So it's not that I think Yankee Stadium is going to help Freddy Peralta, but I don't think it'll kill Freddy Peralta. That's kind of where I'm at with that. But hey, I mean, if the Yankees are like internally, hey, there's some stuff that we need to work on. I mean, I get it. Now, I will also say in regard to Freddy Peralta, I think he could be a sinker candidate. Let's look at this changeup here is an indicator to me that he can spin the ball into righties. And he can spin the ball into righties pretty well. I wonder if he could add a sinker, just kind of like, just take the grip, torque it a little bit, take a force, take a basic two-seam grip, or you can just give him something with some seams shifted wake. And I think it would be I think that could be something that he adds. And yeah, he got Yankee Stadiumed. He got short porched by Volpe and Wells. But that can happen to anybody on any given day. That's like saying Garrett Crochet would be hurt by Yankee Stadium because if you look at the Volpe home run in the wild card round, he got porched. Like I don't think we should look at one sample size starts and go, or one start sample size and go, hey, this is exactly what will happen in every start. It can happen. It's happened to anybody. So yeah, that's a good question. Who's the last good traded for SP for the Yankees? So we can get technical. We can get like dorky, like a-hole territory. I keep downloading these pages. Sorry. We can get dorky and say Luis Seal's technically the best starting pitcher they've traded for in recent memory. That's an asshole thing to say. And I apologize. I needed to say it. It is an a-hole way to say it, but trying to think of recent trades. I do think like Tyone was a successful trade, but this is a fair point. Like, I'm trying to think, is there like a good man? Paxton. What am I saying? James Paxton. James Paxton's pretty good. He had a good year in 2019. I agree. Okay, yes. Schmidt was not traded. We redrafted him. King was yes. King and Heel are asshole answers. But I think James Paxton was good in 2019. I would say James Paxton is the guy. Well, guess what? I'm going to say WRC plus, and that is an offensive stat I'm always going to refer because it is the best offensive stat, and it's either that or OPS plus. I will use one or the other. I tend to use OPS plus in settings where like it's not my show, it's not Fireside, and I don't know what's creating that buzz, but something is. And I'll use it. I'll use OPS plus on shows that aren't mine. So the reason for that is because I simply believe for, let's say, the New York Post or whatever it may be, that is a very general audience. That's not my audience. This is not the Fireside Yankees audience. I am not going to expect them to know who I am, to be quite frank. But with my audience, yeah, we're using WRC plus and OPS plus. WRC plus is the king of stats. It is the best offensive stat out there. And of course, OPS plus, the good alternative if we just want to keep things simple. OPS, a good stat as well. Don't have anything against OPS. But this is not a channel where we talk about batting average and obsess over it. If this is not what you guys are into, I'm not saying you should leave. I'm just saying that it's just not what you're going to get. You're not going to get the batting average show. Now, let's keep talking here about some other questions. I like some of the questions in here, and I really want to focus on them. Let's see. He was traded for Jake Cave. So I will say, well, in 7 years. Yeah, in 7 years, they've traded for Frankie Montas, Jamison Tyone, and James Paxton. Those are the 3 starting pitchers they've traded for. Tyone they won that trade. I think they won that trade. I don't think they gave up anybody of significance or of consequence. Am I wrong on that? Is there anything that is there anybody that was in that trade that I forget? And then when we talk about the Sonny Gray, Frankie Montas, the exact same trade in my mind. The Frankie Montas trade didn't work out for the Yankees, plain and simple. But that is the last like prominent pitching trade they've made on the starting pitching side. So is it that they can't trade for starters, or is it that they've often gone to free agency for signing guys? Or for adding starting pitchers. So the Yankees have a really good pitching development program. Andrew Heaney, I forgot they did trade for Andrew Heaney. That didn't work out either. The Yankees have a good pitching development program. I believe in it. I think anyone with a brain would believe in it. I don't think it's a matter of the Yankees can't trade for pitchers. It's a matter of when they trade for pitchers, they haven't done it often. It's kind of like saying in 3 at-bats, Aaron Judge goes 0 for 3. No, it's not 3, because you can't just take 3 trades over 7 years. Is not the same as 3 at-bats. Let's say in 30 games that Aaron Judge hits 250 and has a 850 OPS and a 130 OPS plus. He's not washed because of that stretch. That can just happen to Aaron Judge, even in the midst of a historic campaign. Look at 2024. 3 trades and evaluating a play. And one of those trades is a clear win. I guess 4 trades. One of those trades is a clear and obvious win in the Jamison Tyone trade. That was a win. The Paxton trade was a win. They've had 2 bad misses because Heaney stunk so bad that he might have cost you a home playoff game. That is bad enough to call it a loss. You won the Tyone trade. You won the Paxton trade. You lost the Montas trade. So I don't think the Yankees have an issue with trading for starters. I just think that they've had some not go their way. And the most prominent of those trades, the Montas trade, did not go their way. And then they haven't really traded for a prominent starting pitcher since. So that is, to me, not a matter of they can't acquire starters in the trade market and they suck at it. It's a matter of they haven't done it in a few years. The most recent one stunk. The most recent one before that also stunk. And then the other 2 before that were pretty good for the Yankees. So let's keep it rolling with some more questions. And some of them will be pertaining to this. Some of them were not. Have you heard anything new on Imai? No, I think the Yankees are just in on Imai. That's just my understanding. It's been my understanding since the offseason started. He's got until January 2nd to sign. Again, it's not a matter of the New York Yankees being a team that should it's not a matter of the Yankees being a team that is the only one in on Imai. If anyone tells you that Tatsuya Imai only has one suitor, they're wrong at this point. At this point in time, they're wrong. This is a player who has interest from the Cubs, from the Phillies. The Phillies are a legitimate threat because they've got money to throw around. We'll see if they end up spending that money and end up making the investments needed. Time will tell. For the Cubs, they've already been in the Japanese market 2 times in the last 5 years. That was with Seiya Suzuki, and that was with Jesus Christ, and Shota Imanaga. So we'll see kind of what goes on there. But I do believe that Imai, the Yankees are still in. Time will tell who else is in on top of that. Let's see. Mets are going to sign Bellinger. I know Mark Feinshead had that report, but until you give me a reason to believe, until I'm given a reason to believe that the New York Yankees or the New York Mets are going to suddenly pony up 6 years, a 6-year contract to Cody Bellinger after being unwilling to give a long-term contract to Pete Alonso and being unwilling to match basic 3-year demands for Edwin Diaz, their star closer. If David Stearns wants to be the moron who gives out a 6-year deal to a player who doesn't fit his ballpark after saying, I'm going to be disciplined on Alonso, I will be disciplined on Diaz, I will be disciplined on the rest of the market, he could be that moron. And I will be stunned in his change of character. Desperation has never affected David Stearns. David Stearns does not make desperation moves. And if David Stearns is going to break character, he should be fired immediately. The Mets should fire him immediately. Super chat here from Latino Sports. Great content. Keep killing it. Right back at you guys. Latino Sports has been all over everything, both Yankees and baseball related. They were at the winter meetings. My boy Hector was at the winter meetings getting it done. I know Julian was down there at the winter meetings. Julian, Fireside Yankees guest, by the way, was on the Fireside Yankees podcast. I think it was about a month ago. We talked, it was early in the offseason where we were still talking about Luis Robert Jr. So before Grisham signed. But Latino Sports, you guys are killing it, man. You guys are great at what you do. And you guys should give them a follow on YouTube, Instagram, socials, check out their website, all that stuff and more. Too many lefties for Cody to go to the Mets. I don't think that the roster fit makes sense. Corner outfielder, hits lefties, hits righties, good defensive player, all of those things. But the offensive fit, the salary, all of these things. I'm not telling you that the Mets are 100% not going to sign Cody Bellinger. I don't know, right? I don't know. I could be wrong. I could be wrong, and it comes out in 10 minutes that the Mets signed Cody Bellinger, and I'm sitting here eating crow. But if the Mets want to offer a 6-year, $25 million a year deal to Cody Bellinger, 6 years, $150 million, pay him as much money as they would have had to pay Pete Alonso to keep him, and expect that Cody Bellinger returns on investment in that ballpark, fine, go ahead, do it. Be that guy, be that team, go ahead. But every report has indicated they will be in on Bellinger as an opportunistic team. Shorter-term deal on their terms, not the aggressor, not the desperate team. That has not been the reporting here. I realize that has nothing to do with, David did just say too many lefties for Cody to go to the Mets. He does hit lefties well, which is why I don't think it's an issue. I love this comment. Everything Yanks, I love it. I am really opening up to Michael King reunion. Imagine Cole, Fried, Rodon, King, Schlittler fully healthy and healed to the bullpen. Dude, first and foremost, I think King is good. I think King is a good pitcher. But I also want to point out, if the Yankees were to have their rotation play itself out and Fried, Cole, and one of Schlittler or Rodon outperformed King, he's awesome as a reliever in a postseason setting. We've seen him pitch out of the bullpen. And in the back end of that contract, let's say the 4th year, King is a league average starting pitcher, and you've got more than 4 or 5 better than league average starting pitchers. You can always take Michael King and move him to the bullpen. Because if Michael King's in the bullpen, he's just a very expensive, excellent reliever. So Michael King, I think, makes a lot of sense for the Yankees. I know there's a qualifying offer. I get it, but it depends on the money, right? It depends on the contract. If it's a 4-year, $100 million contract, I don't think I'm doing $25 million a year for 4 years of Michael King. But if it's a 4-year, $80 million contract, $20 million AAV, 4 years, maybe the 4th year is an option year, that's, I think, pretty good for the Yankees because when you look at the Yankees and you look at the construction of their roster and you look at the next few, you're mapping out the years of the Yankee roster. After 2 years, Stan's a free agent. After this year, LeMahieu's a free agent. After 3 years, Rodon, Cole are free agents. After 4 years, King would be a free agent. You'd be opening up 27 plus 36. That's $63 million plus 20 plus 15 plus 22. We're talking about over $100 million. Over $100 million. Over $100 million for over the span of 3-4 years. That's a lot of money in those free agents. I know there's other guys who are going to be free agents at the end of this year. Guys are also going to be free agents there, but I think he's a really, 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 this is a good fit for the timeline. If you add Bellinger on top of that, it's a good fit for the timeline of the Yankee roster. Yankees should just go hard after Tucker. I agree, Chris. Don't get me started. You know I agree, Chris. Chris, you know I agree. I want Kyle Tucker on this freaking roster, man. Boo. Don Mattingly is reportedly close to accepting a job offer to become the Phillies bench coach. Yeah, that's old news, unfortunately. But hey, I mean, best of luck to him. I don't have it. I don't know. I can't sit here and tell you the Yankees are going to win or not going to win the World Series because Don is back, right? I can't say that, all right? Can't say that. Let's see what else we've got. Ryan, hear me out. Hypothetically, what would you trade in order to bring in either Leiter or Rocker from Texas? Kumar Rocker, I'm not super high on because he's coming back from injury and he hasn't really proved a lot at the major league level. He's not a proven starting pitcher. He would be another question mark in a rotation of question marks. And, are you giving him the ball over Luis Heel right now? Right? Like, am I giving him the ball over Luis Heel right now? Probably not. Right? He's lost a little bit of zip on the heater. The shapes aren't great. Like, I'm not sure I'm giving him the rock. Now, not Mark. Jack Leiter. Jack Leiter is a good starting pitcher, I think. But he's not a great starting pitcher. He's good. He's got some command issues, good stuff, but he's got some bad command issues. Can the Yankees take someone who has who's in a poor pitching lab and make him better? Potentially. I don't think it's impossible to say that Jack Leiter could be better with the New York Yankees, but as I alluded to with Luis Heel, or with Kumar Rocker in comparison to like a Luis Heel, is Kumar Rocker 100% going to outperform Luis Heel and Will Warren in 2026? My answer is, I'm not sure. And I want a guy who you can't give a 100% chance to any of these things, but I need a guy whose median outcome is being comfortably better than Warren and Heel. Not that their median outcome is being as good, if not a little bit better. Their median outcome has to be, I am better than you. Boom. That's kind of what I'm saying here. I'm not saying King's going to the bullpen. I'm saying in the back half of that contract. Right? If you sign into a 4-year deal, the final year, if you absolutely have to, why can't he be a reliever? Right? How can we be a reliever? What's up, Ethan, my man? Knicks Cup Finals tonight? Talk to me, Ethan. Talk to me. Cup Finals tonight? Tri-City Valley Cats legend Kumar Rocker. I forgot he played indie ball for a little bit. Ryan, what would you trade to get Miller from the Padres? So I think it's really good. So I'm willing to part ways with like any of the top pitching prospects, but I'm not willing to get rid of like George Lombard Jr. for this because I feel like at that point I can get a player of greater impact, greater significance at a different position. This is kind of my point with relievers. It's not that it's not that Mason Miller isn't valuable, right? It's not that he's not valuable. But it's rather that I would prefer to dump my assets, my limited prospect assets. By the way, the Yankees have a very limited prospect pool to work with. A lot of what can guide their trades at the major league level is their major league talent, not their minor league talent. It's the fact that they have a controllable starting pitcher in Will Warren, another semi-controllable pitcher in Luis Heel. Both of those guys in their rookie contracts, both of them cheap. Warren, pre-arbitration. Heel, first-year arbitration. Dominguez, pre-arbitration. Above average starting outfielder in a platoon role, potentially. That kind of guy. Spencer Jones isn't a major league asset. He's more of a minor league asset at this point in time. But again, like, I personally do not believe the Yankees should blow up their farm system for a reliever. That's just my opinion. Who do we have in the bullpen as of right now? David, great question. Let's run down the bullpen depth chart here on Fangraphs, and I'm including Cade Winquist on this, and they're including it because he was a Rule 5 pick. In order for him to remain on the roster, he has to be on the 26-man, or I think on the 60-day IL. I forget the ruling there. It's Winquist, Hedrick, Yarbrough, Bird, Hill, Cruz, Duvall, Bednar. Now, name-wise, name recognition-wise, not standing out to you. But in regards to like stuff plus scores, like how these guys are going to grade out in stuff models, a lot of guys are going to grade out pretty well here. There's a lot of like projected swing and miss in this group. I think this is like what you'd want to do is push a couple of these names to AAA. Maybe a name at the very least to AAA. But the Yankees, they like their arms, and you also got to factor in like guys are going to get hurt. So those options on Bird and Hedrick are valuable here. Winquist will have to earn his job out of camp, but the Yankees could always just like sign someone and sign two guys and, project to have Bird and Hedrick in AAA or project to have Winquist not make the team. And guys are going to get hurt, and then these opportunities open up. That's baseball. That's baseball, guys. That's how the game works. And that's why I believe that they should at least get one big-time reliever. Yeah, I think they need one more reliable guy, right? They need one more reliable piece, one more reliable player, one more guy that you bring into a game and you go, we're good. at least one more guy who you bring into a game and you go, we're good. We're good. Who am I higher on? Lombard Jr. or Dax Kilby? That's a great question. Me personally, I think that George Lombard Jr.'s defensive profile gets a little bit underrated, and we don't kind of like we're not enough people are talking about the glove enough. The guy can field. The guy can really pick it at short. He's a really quality defensive player. And if he was able to roll in and be a league average hitter, this is a guy who I think can be a really productive big league player. Now, the offense, I am kind of souring a little bit on. I think Lombard's closer to a top 50 than a top 25 prospect for me if I were to rank a top 100. And Kilby definitely has a better stick profile-wise. Like, I think the stick is just more enticing because Kilby's got the rare combination of excellent quality and excellent quantity of contact. His athleticism is through the charts. He grades out very well as an athlete, as a ball player. This guy can really play. Now, again, I'm sticking with Lombard as my top guy. When I rank all these guys, Lombard will be number one. But I guarantee you this, Kilby is going to be number two on that list, and Cruz is going to be in that mix for that number two spot as well. But, I mean, Kilby's just a dog. Kilby's a dog. I think I'm going to just have to plug him in as that number two prospect. And there's a chance that Dax Kilby becomes that number one prospect at some point halfway through the year, even if Lombard's playing well. Lombard can have a good year. Lombard can be good. Lombard can show he can hit in AA, get to AAA, show that he's projects to be like an average to above average hitter at the shortstop position. With that brilliant glove at shortstop, I mean, you watch him field. That guy can really field, man. And if he still might not end up being the number one prospect by year's end, because Kilby can really swing the stick. I think you got to move him off shortstop, put him in center field, put him at an up the middle position, second or center. And I think that again, this guy could be a monster. This guy could be a real monster. The feel for the zone. It's the feel for contact. It's the feel for quantity and quality of contact. This guy's a baller, man. This guy's a baller. He's a real baller. I really like Dax Kilby, and I like what we got there. Now, again, for the pitching stuff, I really like Elmer Rodriguez Cruz. I think that guy's got a real good chance to be a big league starter, and that's part of the conversation here with the rotation and even the bullpen. I mean, look, the Yankees, I kind of hope Cruz gets to pitch at some point next year, although I do understand that implies a little bit that somebody's going to go down, somebody's not going to be that effective, whatever they mean, but whatever that may mean. But I think Cruz has it, man. I think Cruz got a couple of things going for him. The repertoire. I mean, let's hold on. We're going to do something here, folks. And from this question here, LaGrange versus Rodriguez Cruz, upside, I'm taking LaGrange. And I rank LaGrange above Cruz going into the year. But, man, I kind of look at, like, I kind of go back and forth here, right? Because on one hand, this is tough for me, right? This is tough for me because talking about two dudes who I think are really quality ball players, but you look at LaGrange, right? Like the command's a little bit of a concern for Cruz. The upside is not as great, like in terms of like swing and miss ability. He's got a good swing and miss pitch. Like he's got good swing and miss pitches, but I don't know how productive he'll be. So I don't really know. I don't know how I'd rank him. But let's take a look here at the pitch shapes for Elmer Rodriguez Cruz. I'm going to compare it to early days Michael King. Like we're going to compare this to 2019 Michael King. We're gonna go way back. We're gonna go way back because I want to show you guys kind of what these two guys looked like in their unpolished forms. I apologize a little bit. I'm sniffling. Actually, I forgot that King didn't have anything else. Let's compare. Yeah, Cruz. This is Michael King in 2019. First comes up. Let's actually go to 21. Let's jump forward a little bit. 21. I want to go to 2021 here. This is the expanded version of King's repertoire. Has the sweeper in his mix now. Has the movement. You kind of see everything's there. And then you look at the 2000. You look at Elmer Rodriguez Cruz. It's the depth of repertoire, man. He's got everything. Good sweeper, big changeup, curveball. Some of the sweepers get logged as curveballs. Sinkers got tons of depth, and some of the sinkers get logged as four-seamers as well. You won't get capture the arm angle here, but it's a low arm angle. Sitting 96 miles per hour. This guy's got just a toolbox. He's got the toolbox. Plus velocity, plus movement. This is Elmer Rodriguez Cruz, baby. Elmer Rodriguez Cruz. And this is his first time throwing that AAA ball, from my understanding, in a pro setting. So give him an offseason of him throwing that rock. That guy can be a monster. Let's bring a chip. You're right. Let's bring a chip back to New York tonight. Knicks, Spurs. Let's bring a chip back. Would you trade for Hunter Green, total stud pitcher? I saw Dan Rourke talk about this. It's costing you Ben Rice. I hope you guys are aware of that. It's costing you Ben Rice, right? Like it's costing you Ben Rice. You ready to lose Ben Rice? If not, you're not willing to play ball for Hunter Green. If the Armar offer matches theirs, what would incentivize Amai to go to Philly instead of us? I think Matt Blake would give us the edge, but I don't know at this point. Hey, Nick, I'm going to be real with you. Nick, I don't know. Like, Nick, I don't know. I can't tell you with confidence that I know because, on one hand, right, it seems like, okay, well, the Yankees, they're this and, New York, and they've had Japanese players before. Imai's, we don't know what Amai wants. I don't know what Amai wants. So I'm not going to sit here and speculate and tell you I know, Nick. I don't know. I don't know. His fielding is smooth. This is about Lombard. He's got a quick transition from the glove to his throwing motion. Remember, people didn't think Volpe would stick at short because of his arm. And look, Volpe's arm isn't great. The arm speed, the throw speeds aren't great. He does have a quick release. He's got a quick release, and he's and I know people are gonna kind of laugh when they hear this, but he's a smart thrower of the baseball. This past year, we saw him lose some of that discipline. I think he was forcing throws over there, trying to make plays happen that weren't going to happen. I thought Volpe made bad decisions on the field this year. I thought his injury stuff, that was part of it, but I thought Volpe made a lot of bad decisions with the glove this year. When he's right, look at the 2024. Watch 2024 Anthony Volpe play it at short, and look at the data. Right? Look at the data. Look at the film. It's good film, good data. This guy can really play shortstop, or he could really play it in 24. But then you watch Lombard Jr. It's the effort that he doesn't have to use to get those throws across. It's the fact that it's quick and it's through and it strikes across the infield. It's just darts. It's like watching an artist at work. This guy is just a magician, crazy good athlete, bigger dude than Volpe is. The stick isn't anything to write home about right now. I don't think Lombard's a great hitter. But he was an above average hitter at the AA level. Again, he was 19, turning 20 this year. Let him be 20. Let him turn 21. Let him turn 21, right? Let him turn 21. That's kind of my point. Get this guy some vitamin C. Justin, I need some vitamin C. You're right. I do need some vitamins. And some dinner. That too. We need Cal Tucker here. I'm sorry, but Bellinger won't cut it next year. Hey, I think Bellinger's a good ball player, but I think the contract that he's going to get, right? Like, what is he going to get is kind of my, my question here. It's my question. It's hard to tell if the Yankees have had a real interest in Amai or if they're mentioned as having interest to drive his price. Here's my thing, man. I really don't think the Yankees would be mentioned by Japanese media for leverage. Potential that they didn't have him, like they didn't view him as like that kind of guy at first, or like the Yankees viewed him as like a solid-eyed guy to keep eyes on, and then don't think he's that guy currently. But I'm not really sure, man. I'm not really sure. Let's see what else. What's a realistic right-handed bat you're eyeing up? Me personally, I don't. Brennan Doyle will be cool to trade for, but again, you're paying a premium in the trade market for a starting center fielder that you're not going to play in center field. You're going to play him in left field because there's no chance you're putting Jason Mingus out there over Trent Grisham. Like if you against a lefty, if you get Bellinger and Doyle's like this fourth outfielder you've got as insurance for Grisham, that's an expensive trade piece to get somebody who's going to play center field on occasion and play instead of Grisham. Like the center field right-handed hitter market, the guy I would look at is like a Dane Myers of the Marlins. I'm trying to find his there we go. Dane Myers of the Marlins is a guy I would look at and say, hey, can the Yankees go swing a trade for this dude? I know the offensive numbers stink overall, but versus lefties, this guy can really swing it. It's 297, 360, 456 slash 126 WRC plus. Good exit velos, good batted ball data, good contact rates, not bad on the strikeout rates in total. Like I know that in his career it's been bad, but this past year wasn't bad. Versus lefties, a lot of contact, decent enough pop or like raw pop. I think we'd see more home runs and fewer doubles against lefties if you were to be a Yankee. The speed is pretty good. He can run the bases a little bit. Glove out there in center field ain't bad. Is decent. It's pretty strong. I can't complain about the glove in center. I think this would be like a fun, cheap, shouldn't cost you much kind of outfielder that you can bring in and have as your fourth guy. So this is like my realistic complete dork, complete nerd, complete loser opinion here because I'm a nerd who spends too much time on Fangraphs. That's kind of where I'm at. Anywho, bro got a gold glove for nothing, man. I saw every game. He didn't deserve a gold glove. I just kind of disagree. Like, I'm not saying that Volpe, like, undisputed was the gold glove winner. That was a weird year for gold glove because, like, Wander Franco, like, the guy who led the AL in defensive runs saved at shortstop and I think was up there and outs above average, was Wander Franco. And, can we all agree that Wander Franco shouldn't have won the gold glove? Can we all agree? Yeah. Okay. So look, Volpe led in defensive runs saved among active American League shortstops. The outs above average and fielding run value wasn't great. And that's where, there's a conversation about, like, why do you win the gold glove? But some people really swear by defensive runs saved. Some people really do. Some people do. And whether that's fair or not, like, people like defensive runs saved. I don't think it's for nothing. And then you look at the next year, it's not like he didn't follow it up with a strong defensive season. Among American League shortstops, he was second in fielding run value. He was second in outs above average. He was defensive runs saved. He was inside he was third. Like, this was a good defensive shortstop in 2024. Then 2025, obviously, really, really bad defensive season. This was a bad defensive season for Anthony Volpe. What's the news on the Yankees tonight or today? Interested in a reunion with Luke Weaver. We talked about that at the start of the show. That's really the updates. That's really I know that Jack Curry mentioned, hey, the Yankees, they might be more, like, it's more likely to trade for than sign a starting pitcher. He said that in a recent hot stove as well. So that's not new news. Yeah. How you feel about the Yankees' latest pickup, Ernesto Martinez Jr.? You think he'll have an impact in 26? See, as a left-handed hitting first baseman, kind of tough for him to have an impact and, like, be a guy who the Yankees, like, are really, like, going to be able to use next year. But I do think it's an interesting offensive profile. If this guy was right-handed, I'd be having some conversations about, like, hey, is this guy like a fringe fringe 26-man roster guy? Unfortunately, that's not the case. He's left-handed, but look at the data here. Zone contact rate isn't great, which is obviously, that needs to improve, but look at the pulled fly ball rate, pretty good. Swing decisions, that's measured by Seager. This is a swing decision metric. Doesn't take hittable pitches, league average in that regard. Pretty selective. Like, he'll leave pitches he shouldn't hit out of the zone. EVs are tough. Like, this is incredible. Like, he hammers the baseball. So I wonder if there's something you can clean up in that swing path to try and get him to hit the ball in the air a little more. I know his ground ball rate was really high this year, which you don't want to see. But you look at the EVs here. Let's look at this here. This guy, like, he just needs to fix the swing path. It's the swing path that needs work because the power, the upside is pretty good. And then you want to look at some film here.
Dahlbeck with 2. This one is hit high in the air, out to center field. Munguia back. Dahlbeck with 2.
This is a big boy. This is a big boy. I wonder. I would close. I think the stance is a little bit ugly. I think I'd close this stuff up. Like, this is kind of a hideous stance. This is a pretty ugly stance, but booyah! That's a nuke, boys. That's a nuke. Boys and girls. Let's keep it rolling here. If we don't get Tucker, the Blue Jays will. Not only do we need him to make our team better, but we need him to make the Blue Jays worse. Depends if they sign Bichette or not. Like, this is a dependent. I don't know. We'll see. Jojo Romero or Adrian Morejon? Oh, that's a really good question. So, look, Jojo Romero, let's look at his numbers. He's a good pitcher. Good pitcher. Not a bad pitcher. Good pitcher. Not an elite pitcher, but a good pitcher. Good projections. Guy you can give the ball to in the 7th inning, and you're pretty happy. But Adrian Morejon, oh, baby, this guy's a stuff monster, and he's a free agent at the end of the year, so maybe the Padres want to move him. This guy's a stuff monster, though. Look at this guy. I mean, right? Like, oh, baby. This guy throws 96, 97, don't say it, cheese, misses bats, punches tickets, ground ball. Like, this guy's a stud. I love Adrian Morejon, and I didn't realize he was a rental, so I was like, the Yankees don't have a chance at this guy, but hey, they might because he's a rental. I think the Mets are going to end up trading for him. That's just kind of the smoke publicly. So, I won't get my hopes up here. But if we get him, that'd be great. Sinker, slider. I mean, there's some other pitches he's mixed in here, but very much a sinker slider guy. Big sinker, velo-wise. The movement, not great on the sinker. There's a good amount of arm side. Slider, good droppy arm slide. Good droppy slider. That drop slide. I didn't know he threw a knuckleball. It's just pretty funny. But, I mean, we talk about nasty, right? Like, this is a dude who just throws nothing but gas, man. And I love dudes who throw gas. I love guys who can just fill the zone and attack the zone, and the low walk rate is appealing. Like, good velo. I mean, stop it. Stop it. One more time. Just stop it, man. Stop it. Stop it. Not fair. Not fair. That got to be disgusting. We're not getting Tatis. We're not getting Tatis, and Hal Steinbrenner's not paying for Manny Machado's contract. I'd like a Hunter Goodman platoon with Wells personally if we're trading for a righty's Rocky bat. That's actually a really good point, but they're not going to trade him, right? If the Reds offered me Hunter Green for Ben Rice, you'd have to take that trade. Hunter is a true number one, and Rice is defensively limited, strong side platoon player. Well, I mean, if we're going to talk about the negatives, the negatives in Ben Rice, like we also have to talk about the arm issues. There are some arm issues here, right? Like he did miss. He hasn't thrown more than 150 innings in a year. There are arm issues, and I love Hunter Green. This is not like the attack against Hunter Green. He's a great starting pitcher. He's an elite starting pitcher on a per start basis. But we've got to talk about both sides of this. If we're going to talk about the bad with Ben Rice, we got to talk about the bad with Hunter Green. We just do. Like that's got to happen too. Now Ben Rice obviously not going to be as valuable on a year-to-year basis as Hunter Green is if both completely healthy. But like if both completely healthy is a big if here. That's a big if here. Now Rice has had some injury issues in his minor league career, but those haven't translated at the major league level. He has hit the crap out of the baseball. We know how talented of a hitter he is. Now, if it's 1-for-1, I think the Yankees say yes. The contract is just so favorable. You are not paying him much at all. You get him for 26, 27, 28, 29. So that's one fewer year of control than Ben Rice. Would I trade for Hunter Green and then go, like, again, if I were to do a 1-for-1, I agree. Like, if it was Hunter Green for Ben Rice, yes, I would do that 1-for-1, but it's not going to just cost you Ben Rice. It's going to cost you more players than that. It's going to cost you Rice. It's going to cost you ERC. It might cost you Lombard, X, Y, and Z. Now, the Yankees could get Hunter Green and then go out and get a first baseman, go out and trade for someone like a Wilson Contreras, go out there and bring him in as a right-handed bat, make your offense a little more balanced, and get someone who's a good defensive first baseman. Hey, that is a guy who, like, I think could help you. You know, I think your team is better in that circumstance than they would have been otherwise, but you are taking a risk. I mean, it's 34-year-old Wilson Contreras. There's ups and downs to this. When you make a shakeup in your roster, these kinds of things happen, and I'm not trying to sit here and say that it's good or bad. I'm just saying there are risks involved in all of this. Do you think the Yankees are done making moves in the infield? I'll say yes. I'll say that they don't do anything crazy in the infield. All my life's troubles would dissolve with Neto on the team. I mean, Zach Neto. Let's pull up the stats here, fellas. Zach Neto, I mean, this guy's pretty freaking good, man. He's not a superstar, but he's pretty freaking good. Guy hits the ball well, hits the ball hard, improved the quality of contact. Swing and miss has gone up, but again, for that quality of contact trade-off, you'll take it. Defense at shortstop, out above average, fielding run value, doesn't like it. Defensive run saved, which the Yankees prefer. They love it. He's not going to be a free agent until 4 years from now, so don't foresee the Angels trading him, but when he hits the free agent market, he'll be an under 30 free agent, which will definitely make him an interesting player. But again, unfortunately, I hate to break your dream. I mean, Joe, you know, it's to be sick for the Yankees. Don't think it's happening. Weaver ain't coming here. The door is closed. Not according to the Athletic. Bringing back Weaver would be nice. I have a feeling he wants to start somewhere else. Again, according to the Athletic, teams aren't interested in him as a starter, so I do think we can see him back. Let's see what's up here. NY does not need a first baseman. You have Ben Rice. Yes, we were just talking about if the Yankees were to trade Ben Rice. Martinez Jr. gives me Anthony Garcia flashbacks. Matthew, that is a callback, bro. If you guys remember Anthony Garcia, that dude was tall as hell, hit a ball like 120. That dude was killing single A pitching, and then he couldn't kick it in high A, and he's in Japan now. I mean, have we thought about putting Jazz in center and getting Brendan Donovan and Bo Bichette? I don't think Jazz can play center field anymore, Jelly Donut. Any chance if we trade for Peralta, we try and extend him, or would that make too much sense for us? Well, Nick, I don't think the Yankees are unwilling to approach players about extensions, if it makes sense. I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know. Peralta, no, thank you. That's shocking. I think you'd want him. Just say Ben Rice goes down. Who would get the call? Martinez Jr., Rumfield, or Hardman? If they sign Bellinger would just play first base. But in the scenario where this goes down and these are the three options, I think it's Rumfield. Would Ben Rice go down? Dude is like a top 10 first base. I think he meant if he got injured. Let's see what else we got here. What's up, Wicked 50 Cal? Hope you're doing well. Love the channel. Let's go, Knicks. Hopefully the Yankees do something. Starting to have nightmares thinking Judge will never get a ring. And the last memory will be him dropping a fly ball in center field. God, I hope you're not right. God, I hope we do something, right? Well, let's go Knicks, man. Let's go Knicks. What's up, chat? What's up, John? Hope we're doing well. The 30-30 guy, the speed, the athleticism. Jazz, the guy. Why are we not trading Volpe? Jazz can't play shortstop at this point in his career, fellas. I hate to be that guy. Hate to be that guy. So want Horner? I would love Horner, but I don't think it's happening, fellas. I'm sorry. Volpe, Warren, and Hess for Horner. I think that's actually like a decent. Like the Cubs would have to say yes to that. I think they'd have to say yes based on the fact they're getting a top 5 prospect from the Yankee organization. Warren is a controllable starting pitcher, and while Volpe isn't good, he's still a baseball player of value. I'm surprised the Mets don't want to turn Weaver into a starter. Well, I mean, unlike Holmes, he doesn't have the same mobility. I know you're like making a joke, but I actually do want to kind of talk about like why I don't think teams are interested in Weaver as a starter. Well, let's kind of break this one down, right? Weaver does a really good job of moving the ball north and south. He's got the circle changeup, he's got the 4-seam fastball, throws a cutter, but he doesn't seem to be able to get depth or sweep on the ball. And he doesn't seem to be able to move the ball into batters either. Like he doesn't move the ball well laterally at all. He only moves the ball vertically. He's very much like Jonah Tong, where Jonah Tong can only move the ball up and down. He can't move the ball east and west. And so that is a player who's going to be hard to turn to a starting pitcher. And you might go, well, the Mets have Jonah Tong. They can just do it with him. Jonah Tong is better at spinning the baseball than Weaver, and he can't do it really right now. It would be hard to imagine that after years of teams working with Weaver, that Weaver can suddenly do it. And on top of all of this, doesn't really have a great enough fastball where if he sat 92, 93, he's going to get rocked again. He can't sit 92, 93. He's got to sit 95 to have that fastball work, I think. If the Jays snagged Tucker, how would you feel about signing Bichette? So look, and I know you don't like him. I don't like him on like a 7-year deal, but like a 5-year deal. Yeah, sure. Like that'd be fun. Like a 5-year deal, I'm in on Bichette. I think I don't want to go too far into term with this situation here. Trade for Peralta, not Freddy, but Wandy. Bring him back for the bullpen, baby. Go get both. What about a trade for Hunter Green? Again, starts with Ben Rice and more. And I don't think the Yankees are going to pony that up. You have a great channel, Michael. Thank you, bro. I really appreciate it. We may have to wait for Horner. Contract is up. I think that's the situation too. Yeah, I think if your Yankees are going to ever get Nico Horner, which we don't know if they're ever going to do that, it would have to be in free agency. I don't think it's happening on the trade market. Volpe, Jason, Dominguez, and LaGrange for Zach Neto. Well, again, I think the Yankees. I think the Yankees would be like. I think the Yankees personally, like. I don't think that this is getting it done because Neto's got 4 years of control. I don't think the Yankees would be against this. This is just a player who costs so much in the market. So, yeah. Well, since you brought up north and south, what's more important, moving the ball efficiently, east and west efficiently, or north and south effectively? I think both are reliever profiles, but I think east and I think east and west is easier to be good against. If you're a right-handed pitcher, I'd prefer east-west. If you're a left-handed pitcher, I prefer north-south because east-west, righty on righty works really well. North-south, lefty on righty works really well. The opposite doesn't work very well. So, like, think of it like this: east-west, good against same-handed, bad against opposite-handed. North-south, good against opposite-handed, bad against same-handed. So, for the Yankees, let's say, or for any team, you would rather a guy who's right-handed who can get most of his matchups out, but can't get like the less than 50% chance he's going to face a lefty versus like lefties. And the lefties, same thing. You want them to beat righties more than you want them to beat lefties because there are more righties than lefties, just based on a value standpoint, especially without the lefty specialist being a thing in this league anymore. And I also think East-West guys tend to be like you can get them to throw something that goes down or up a little bit. Like an East-West guy tends to throw the ball down here. Right. He tends to be able to throw the ball down here. And the Yankees actually, to their credit, have been able to get guys who throw the ball more like vertically, like all the way up here, high arm slots or like higher arm slots, like a Cam Schlittler's a higher release guy. They've been able to get them to move the ball down and sometimes even east-west. But sorry, I'm going on such a tangent here. Sorry. Point is, I think I'd rather do east-west. I think east-west profiles, easier to get them to move the ball north-south, easier to get them to attack at least their and beat their same-handed matchups and their majority matchups. For righties, for lefties, opposite. Ooh, Jonathan, great question. Peralta McGill trade. What do you think would be the Yankees package? I think the Yankees would have to give up. It would start, I think they'd give up Dominguez, Warren, and no, okay. Warren Hess. Do they want to top Warren Hess? Warren, actually, no, let's fix this. Will Warren, Elmer Rodriguez Cruz, Brendan Jones, and let's throw in some back end top 30. Top of my head, who's a back end top 30? Harrison Cohen? Yeah. Go steal Ian Happ. I would like Ian Happ. If the Yankees have to pick between giving Bellinger $180 million or trading for Ian Happ, I'll take Ian Happ. Sandy Alcantara is the most affordable. First off, no. Peralta is. Secondly, it's not $11 million towards the cap. It's $16 to $17 million. Don't say it towards the cap. He does offer, I do agree with this, he does offer elite level upside. He has accomplished more in this league. He's accomplished more in this league than Freddie has, than Imai has, and then King has. But he does have some issues missing bats. So I think there's ups and downs to this. I like Alcantara. I also don't know if he's going to get traded at this point in time, but we'll see. Where do you think Murakami lands? White Sox. You're Brian Cashman. 30-second pitch to Imai to get him to sign here. Go. We're going to get a clock. Hold on. Stopwatch. Ready? I'm going to share this. 3, 2, 1, and go. With the New York Yankees, you're going to have one of the best pitching development programs with Matt Blake and Sam Breen. The Yankees have been able to consistently churn out pitching talent. Cam Schlittler, Will Warren, Luis Seal, Michael King. The more we keep getting these guys, the more top players we start producing out on the pitching side of things. Now, when we look at your profile, low slot fastball, low slot slider, you're going to be a stud here. You're going to be marketable. You're going to be on every billboard. You're going to be a megastar, an icon in New York, and you're not going to share the spotlight with anyone. I think I actually went a little over 30 seconds, but yeah, I think that'll work. Yeah, that's a decent pitch. I don't know. We'll see. You guys tell me. If you're Tatsuya Imai, are you signing here after that? I could say that I would depending on, if the Phillies had a better, the Phillies could do a better pitch than I just did. So we'll see. Alcantara would be a great addition. Don't get me wrong. Again, there's good and bad. There's good and bad. If Jazz ends up leaving next year, would be some options at second base in both free agency and from the farm. Nico Horner. Nico Horner is a guy who I think you sign in free agency if Jazz were to leave in free agency because they're in the same free agent class. So, yeah. Who else is throwing a reverse slider like Imai? Also, let's just call it a screwball. So the reason it's not a screwball is because it's not moving a ton laterally on the opposite direction. It's more of like a 0-0 slider. I think let me find the grip here. Also, I appreciate the compliments on the pitch, guys. I tried. I tried. Let's see if we can get share screen here. Look at this right here. You see this? Oh, I can't. I'm gonna have to open the image in a different tab. Share this. So this is grip. It's a horseshoe grip. So let's try and get. I can't seem to I've always struggled with this. This is not it. I think it's like here, right? Like this, something like this. This is a fascinating grip. Nope, wrong side still. I'm still on the wrong side. I think it's something like this. I don't know. Point is, this is like a sweeper grip almost. This is more of a sweeper grip. This is the kind of grip you see. Let's go get Klubers, the clue ball. Let's see if I can find it. Nope. Look at we're gonna open this image. Sorry, I'm just trying to get some comparisons on here. Look at this. You see how he kind of grabs that horseshoe, and this is Kluber's curveball, which is one of the initial iterations of the sweeping slider. So when he threw it, it was like that. Now when we look at kind of here, it's not the same. It's not exactly the same. I know there's some differences, but that same horseshoe, grip the horseshoe, and then just tug. And then they're both low arm slot guys. Well, the my slider, it just doesn't move a lot laterally. It has a good drop. Yeah, it's a different movement. Yeah. That's the point here. That's what makes it so weird. Low arm slot, sweeper-ish grip, and doesn't move a lot laterally. That's weird, bros. That's weird. And I think that's what makes him so good. It's the fact that that's weird. No one throws a slider like that. And it's not the reverse slider that's the most unique. Like, there are some guys who throw reverse sliders. Dory Moretta throws a reverse slider. I think like Corey Abbott a few years ago threw like a big, like threw like 8 inches average on arm side move. So like he's not the first person to do this, but all these guys are higher arm slot guys. We don't see these 5 feet tall release heights, 20-degree arm angle reverse sliders. Reverse, like, sliders from lower arm angles tend to just sweep or at least have some break laterally. Even Luis Castillo, the super low arm angle, super low release height, Brian Wu as well, guys who throw their sliders and they don't get a lot of sweep movement. It's plus vert. It's plus lateral. It's not it's not that it doesn't move a glove side. It still moves glove side. It just doesn't move a lot glove side. And Mize doesn't move glove side, period. So that's what makes his so freaking weird. TLDR, weird is good for pitchers. I like weird for pitchers. What's your comp for Cade Winquest? So Cade Winquest, tough comp because he's a guy who cuts his fastball a little bit too much and it stops it from getting ride, but he's got a lower release height. I can't really comp him to Warren. I can't really comp him to Schmidt. Can't really comp him to King. He has better velo than a lot of these guys too. He's weird. I'm trying to think off the top of my head, like Brad Keller. Brad Keller's kind of my comp, like good velo, should probably be a reliever. Brad Keller might be my comp here, actually. Brad Keller doesn't release the ball that low off the ground, though. He's got a higher launch height. Yeah, he's got a higher launch. Yeah, so his velo, he's maxed at 100. He sits 95, and that's as a starting pitcher. He's got good extension, too. Perceived velo around 96 miles per hour. Now, as a reliever, you expect him to be closer to that max velo. Could sit 97, 97 and a half perceived velo, maybe 98 even, depending on how things go. I would say a 2 mile per hour jump is a little bit much. But I'll say a 1.5 mile per hour jump is pretty reasonable. So 96, 97 miles per hour. Good breaking balls, the breaking balls could be good. He's got a curveball that's got a good amount of upside to it. Let's get you guys a profile so I can give you visuals and you guys can see each pitch as I speak of them. Let's see, vertical. Cade Winquest, and we're gonna have to look at 2023 because that's the last time he's pitched at a level that had StatCast. But his velo hasn't changed. His movement hasn't changed much at all. So release height wise, this is a low launch for a fastball. 5.5 vertical release point. That's a low launch for a fastball. Again, as we talked about, like it's good spin, but it's inefficient spin. This is a curveball. This is not a slider. This is a curveball. Look at the vert, tons of depth. He threw some changeups. I don't know if that changeup's going to be very effective, or at least that iteration of his changeup shape will be very effective, but it shouldn't be completely terrible. Like if he needs to throw another pitch, he can just throw that. The cutter shape isn't bad. It looks more like a gyro slider. I think that's really just a gyro slider. But the four seam, I mean, he was really relying on it in single A. It's it should be a good heater, at least a league average heater. If the Yankees can get him to get behind the ball a little better or get kind of shift his grip a little more, which is something they were able to do with Warren and with Schlittler to get more ride on it. If they get this to like 15 vert, 5.5 release height, 96 miles per hour, this is the perceived velo actually adds a whole mile per hour. So perceived velo at 97, let's say a 1 mile per hour increase here. Let's say 1 inch increase in vert. So 14.5 vert, 5.5 release height. This guy could be something. This guy could be really freaking good. This guy could be a plus reliever for you. Got to improve the secondary pitches. You need something that's in between the fastball slider. Maybe it's a sweeper. Maybe it's a gyro slider. I don't know what it would be, but he can move the ball laterally. That's something that's encouraging. Question is, can he get something that moves sweepery, like slidery, like something that's a little sharper? So like the issue here is that this like cutter slider shape is way slower than it should be. This needs to be, if you're going to be throwing a gyro slider, you need it to be 86, 87. And if you're going to throw a sweeper 80, you want more lateral than this. So there are some things he needs to work on. This is not a polished pitcher, but I think the Yankees can take this archetype and make him better. So if no more additions except Bellinger or Tucker, are we looking at Grisham as leadoff? Yeah, probably, or Rice. I mean, Rice I think is probably the guy with lead off. Again, I think Rice is a good leadoff hitter. And I'll see it again and again and again. we're going to start wrapping these up in the next 10 minutes. I do have some things I have to do at finals week, so I've got to start wrapping things up in a few. I've got some work I got to do for tomorrow morning for, again, the for what's going on here. Let's keep it rolling. Japanese star pitcher, 10 years, $225 million Yankee. Go get him. I don't think he's getting a 10-year deal. I don't even think he's getting more than $200 million. I think it'll be 7 years, 170. That's what I would offer him. Yeah, and see what kind of happens. Dude, we were so cooked for leadoff. We don't sign anybody else. Again, I'm going to point to Big Ben Rice. If Bellinger's the only addition, it's going to be the same exact lineup, and that's a lineup that, like, the Yankees are looking at this not as, wow, this team sucked. It was the Yankees led baseball and runs scored. They led baseball and runs scored, and if they run back the same group, they think they can be near the top, if not at the top. Do you think the Yankees not extending players is an organizational philosophy, or Brian Cashman scared to mess up things? No, I just don't think they've had a lot of players that they want to extend. Judge, they wanted to extend. They didn't get to extend him. I think extension candidates are hard to find. They haven't found like a young 22-year-old, like, they haven't found like a young 22-year-old, like, position player who's a star. Dominguez isn't that. Volpe isn't that. Rice is 26, so you just write out the arb here. There's no reason to extend him. Yeah. So, Ryan, let's give Ahmed a first base glove and sign Cody. Obviously, against a left-handed pitcher, we can roll out Rice, Judge, Cody, Stanton, Jazz, Ahmed, Grisham, Jose, Caballero, and McMahon. Well, you could just, like, I would just have Volpe play short against lefties and McMahon play third. Like, there's no chance I'm putting McMahon in and I'm not putting Volpe in. Like, McMahon can't hit lefties. Volpe's a league, like an above average hitter against lefties in his career. But I do think the idea of Ahmed being able to play first base would be fun. So, yeah. King or Amai? King has experience, but we know he can be a number 2 starter. Amai has more upside, but we don't know how he'll transfer to MLB. Great question. I wouldn't be mad at either. Depends on for me at least, it depends on the final contract value. So, yeah, if you could get him for for King, if you get him at like 4 years, 80, fourth year, an option year, not guaranteed, I'd prefer that over Amai. If for Imai, it was 7 years, 6 years, 140, or 7 years, 140, 150, let's say 7 years, 150, or 7 years, 160, I would do that because that's not a really high annual average salary. 160 divided by 7 is 22.8 mil. So, yeah, I think Wells will be better first year as a number 1 catcher. Hopefully no torpedo bat this year. I think it'll be good. I agree. I think it'll be good this year. Agree. Rice leadoff. Great content. Keep going. Jonathan, appreciate you, my man. Howard McMahon's underlying numbers, they're pretty good, but I don't think he's going to be a good hitter. I think he'll hope to be a league average hitter. I know he doesn't make the most sense, but any shot Murakami is in their plan if they don't like the direction that Bellinger talks are going. The issue is he only plays first. He can't play third. He can only play first. So, yeah, I personally do not believe Murakami's in the Yankees' plans. I would take the over on McMahon's expected numbers for next year. Hey, if you're right, that'd be great. But I personally am like, hey, I think he can hope to be league average. I think that's the hope because he's never been better than that. So why would I expect him to be better than that versus hoping for? Hoping for and expecting are two different things for me. So yeah. Because it was 4 games. That happens. Like guys, I really hate to say this. It just happens. It's really a boring answer. It's an answer that feels like a cop-out, but it really just happens. Sometimes you just don't hit for 4 games. And they didn't really even they hit in game 2, they hit in game 3, they didn't hit in games 1 or 4. So they didn't hit in 2 out of 4 games. Just happens sometimes, man. Why didn't the Blue Jays hit? If the Blue Jays were so great, their lineup was so great, why didn't they hit in Game 7 of the World Series? Why didn't they bring in bases loaded, 1 out, game tied? Like, why didn't they just get a bunt down? Why couldn't they get a sac fly? Like, why couldn't they get a run in? Why couldn't they get a run in Game 3? 18 innings. They couldn't get a run in. Why couldn't they get a run in bases first and third, down 1, Game 7 World Series? Just got to put a good ball in play. Outfield, deep enough, score a run, right? Like, why? Why didn't that happen? Baseball. Just happens. Why did the Dodgers hit in the postseason? They had like a 7, same OPS or like a few OPS plus points better than the Yankees in the postseason. Why did that happen? Why? It's just baseball. It's just baseball. It happens. That's the boring and like upsetting part of baseball, that can just happen. That can just happen. So, yeah. That's really, dude, that movie's got some lines that are really funny. I like Okamoto over Murakami. I agree. If they're going to sign a Japanese bat, bring me Okamoto, although I don't believe that will occur. They did not steal signs. They just had a tip on the Yankees, apparently, which is not illegal. They're not stealing signs. It's just having a tip. Although I guess that's stealing signs, right? But like, that's not the illegal stealing signs part. Sorry. Trade for Alcantara, Peralta, and re-sign Bellinger. I think that's a good team if they do that. We're going to start wrapping things up here, though. Really appreciate you guys tuning in and sitting here to listen to this live stream here on Fireside Yankees. I'll answer a couple of questions real quick. Any recent trade rumors linked to the Yankees? Peralta was linked a week ago. Hasn't been much else since. And I'm going to stream tomorrow, and I'll stream Thursday, I believe. No, not Thursday. I'm going to stream tomorrow, not Thursday, not Friday. I'll stream Saturday and Sunday again. So it's been a light streaming week, but that's just mainly because of school and finals week and, Christmas time and all that stuff coming up. But we'll still be streaming, so we'll stream again tomorrow, guys. But, yeah, really appreciate you guys tuning in. Have a great rest of your day, guys. We'll see you guys tomorrow night for a stream. We'll have some videos coming out as well. Appreciate y'all. Peace out. Have a great one.